I sit here and I really don't know how I feel. ECPR was all about connecting with and talking about feelings, and I say I feel a lot, but generally I don't share feelings, partly because a lot of them are suppressed by the medications. Last night I definitely felt something. I went to sleep without taking the half of Seroquel, and at some point during the process of falling asleep, my heart did that thing where it sped up and was beating really fast and strong, and I was terrified. And this time it actually didn't wake me up right away, and I remember just laying there with this intense fear of death. Like, I don't want to die one day, or I don't want to die right now. It actually seemed different the last time. Last time, a few weeks ago, it felt like that sensation of panic where I thought I was going to kill myself. Like, I have to kill myself, but I don't want to. And this time it was different. It was a different experience of that death terror. It really felt like I really don't want to die one day. Yet at the same time, I fear that when I do die, it'll be by my own hand. So it's kind of paradoxical that I would have that intense not wanting to die one day, yet fearing dying by my own hand. It's quite something. I don't know what it is, but so when I did wake up after probably like 20 seconds, I took the half of Seroquel. Last time it was different. It woke me up immediately because I jumped up feeling like I might actually do something to end my life. But it's always about getting to my safety plan before I do that, before I feel I need to do that. And I always do. So once I got my Zap strap and once I took the Seroquel, I felt fine. Not fine, but I went to sleep. So this time it was a different flavor of death. And I have to remind myself that it could just be psychological death. And when part of my psyche dies, it creates a bodily reaction, just like if I think of something scary, my body's going to react, even if I'm sitting right here. And we're doing that to ourselves all the time. We're thinking things and our body is reacting. So it makes sense that if the psyche is dying, there's a bodily reaction. And if I wasn't here in California, I might actually see what that turns into without taking the Seroquel. And I talked about getting Benadryl, and I didn't get Benadryl, so today I did because of that reaction to it. And I talked to the people at Hardy Nutritionals, and they said it's better to go off it by going down to a quarter and then going down to an eighth. So I feel tired and I feel out of shape and I feel like I'm not eating healthy. When I got here, I was at least eating okay-ish and under eating a bit, and I was slender, which I prefer that, especially when I'm taking medication, so my body can deal with all the toxins of the medication. And I feel a little bit like going home. And then I realized that I wouldn't be able to sit outside. I wouldn't have access to this expanse of nature. Doesn't mean that I won't go home. It's just I'm a bit conflicted. And I'm not really feeling that great mentally, so I'm getting through the days, but not in the greatest fashion. I'm kind of blurred out, and the days are a blur, and I've talked recently about things like superhumanness, and it's like I'm wanting to talk myself into those possibilities, yet at the same time, aside from being in the psych ward, I'm not in the greatest place right now. And it almost seems like when I go to those far off possibilities, by speaking about them, it feels like I crash even more after that. So it's difficult to know what to do. I feel like I need to focus on doing nothing and getting healthy, and I keep talking about this, but I just ate a bunch of chips with some kind of dip. I just feel so lazy when it comes to that stuff. So I'm supposed to go down on my medication 1/8 at a time for the next 8 weeks. So right now is me not doing the greatest, but not doing terrible either. I wonder if I'll stay here for the 8 weeks and do that process at the same time, or what will happen. Anything could really happen right now. I could end up going home tomorrow, or I could end up staying till mid-August. I miss my family, I miss my community of people. It's beautiful here, but it's also beautiful just to have a community of people that one cares about. I really care about my community. Here there's a community of beauty, and there's a few people around, but not a lot. And I've talked about before how I do best when I'm around people. So here I have sun, I have nature, I have wildlife and insects. Tried to save one of your brothers earlier from the road, but they just kept walking. They were very determined to walk across the path. And now I sit down and there's one of you on me. You're going the wrong way. Right now there's 4 butterflies doing a dance. And that's beautiful. And the other thing about the death thing, Krishnamurti talks a lot about death. And I feel like I could just go through it somehow. They're so cute. Where do they go? what I'm thinking of is that we all die at some point, yet we're so worried about this life when we're living it. Yet we're all going to die, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm not saying that in the sense of do nothing or it doesn't matter, so just be mean. It's more just the fact of it all. And I've also been thinking about reward and punishment, and when I was thinking about how we've all been forced into mediocrity, I'm not sure why I would care if people have something negative to say about what I'm sharing, when most people just have mediocre minds. And I'm not saying that I don't, and I do too. But why would I care what a mediocre mind who can't really grasp this has to say about it? Why am I not more concerned about if it might be helpful to somebody? Why am I so afraid? And there's people out there that are courageous that'll just share and say what they want to say and share their message, and if somebody says something about it, they just aren't concerned. And even if somebody does say something, they forget about it the next day. They go on with their lives. So in a way, the people that might benefit will put more energy towards it than the people that would not. I guess it's partly because what I have to say sounds like it's against psychiatry. And part of it is, it's against the way it's delivered. Yet at the same time, I feel like I still utilize psychiatry stuff, and maybe I will have to in the future. So I guess it's difficult because I want to be strong and have transcended it, yet I'm in this place where I feel on the tipping point of being in some major distress. Another thing I've been thinking about a little bit is that if I feel like I'm in distress or I'm afraid of death or whatever it is, it's a common human experience. It's not just me, it's not mine. Maybe I'm feeling that and experiencing that, but it's not mine. It's from somewhere. It's just part of the collective and part of mine as well. To feel like I'm struggling. Well, we are struggling. We're all struggling. I guess I just hope in 8 weeks I'll have come off some of this medication and I'll feel better. It's probably better to do it here, otherwise I'll be just sitting at home in somebody's basement. Maybe it would be beneficial if I just spent all my time sitting outside doing nothing, because it's something that I wouldn't be able to do if I was back home. And at this point, I don't know if I'm going to go see Celine Dion. I have this rental car for 4 or 5 more days, and that's what happens. I have these plans, but then a lot of times it just becomes a waste because I'm not even feeling like I can utilize it. sucks to not be able to trust that one can just do what one wants to do when one plans to do it. But that little butterfly over there is so cute. He looks like he has this little fluffy body, and he's flapping his wings up and down, like measuring the wind or something, and waiting for his friends to come along so he can join their dance. So cute. And see, now I'm off self-dialogue, yet I feel like I'm doing worse than when I was on that and talking on and feeling some kind of urge to do so. And then I forget. So yeah, death, reward and punishment. And I wrote a bit of my story for Katie Motram's Emerging Proud campaign for the blog, and I think I'm going to give word for her to go ahead and publish it. I wanted her to wait until after I got to ECPR. And even though I'm feeling kind of low and not clean, I almost feel like I don't care anymore, but I do care, but I'm tired of caring about worrying. Because my family will see the story and they might worry, or I don't know, I don't know. You okay? Usually you would run away by now. What's going on? Hmm? Did you get hurt? Hmm?
Yeah, right. Good luck.
And then I was reading a talk by Krishnamurti, and he was talking about how we always wait for this pressure before we do anything. And I was thinking a bit about map consciousness, how when we're in it, we have this pressure of the universe making us act. And then when we're not in that anymore, it reminds me a bit of harvest, practice, and body. Can we do those things without the pressure being applied? And then yet it seems like this other pressure is happening for me where it's something building up and then leading to this thing happening at night where it feels like dying and being afraid of that. Maybe it'll just pass. Maybe I can just let it pass. Why do I have to be afraid of that? And what's causing that pressure to build up is being in California and just sort of doing whatever, causing a different kind of pressure to build up. Maybe the butterflies know. Maybe I could just ask, what's the cause of this pressure, butterfly? He left. His friends flew by and he left. He's back. Oh! I have no idea if I caught that on camera, but if I do go back, I think I'm going to buy a stand-up paddleboard and just spend time on the water. But it's not water season there yet. So maybe I'll last here a day, maybe I'll last here another month, maybe 2, maybe 3. Somehow I need to take an interest in this body. I think I'm going to quit drinking coffee to start. Maybe I'll just sit out here and start doing some of that self-dialogue. At least it's something. Even if it's just for my own entertainment. I'm not doing anything altruistic right now. Maybe releasing this blog article would be good. Start some conversation. Dr. Fisher was talking about how relationships heal. Yet here, I have a couple relationships, but they're new and it's not like home. So I came down here and it's beautiful and it's so many things, but I don't have my relationships, which are the strongest and most important thing. At least I'm learning. Relationships are important. So tonight I really hope that I sleep better with that Benadryl, and I'll take a quarter of a Seroquel and the Trazodone and see what happens. Maybe it's good that some of this is coming out, but just little by little. I think I just want my energy back. Life is more challenging when one doesn't have energy.